You're gonna think I'm crazy, and that's okay. But I want to tell you the story of when God revealed himself to me. A few years ago, I was coming off drugs. I was sober. I was seeking God with all that I am. I was in a very dark place in my life. I had been fasting for a few days, seeking God, just giving him all of me. I was in my bedroom and I was alone. And it was dark. It was pitch black. It was dark. And I was in my bedroom and I was just praising and worshiping. I was listening to Misty Edwards. I remember every detail of this. I was listening to Misty Edwards, just praising and worshiping, and just pouring my heart out to God. And I remember when the songs went off, when the music went off, I just kept praising and worshiping. But instead of singing the song, I started singing my heart to the Lord. I made up my own song for the Lord, and I was just praising Him and worshiping Him and just seeking Him with all that I am, pouring my heart out to Him. And all of a sudden, what started coming out of me sounded more like what was on the heart of God. It started sounding like I was singing the heart of God back to Him. And I realized this, and I just kept, it was almost like the Holy Spirit had taken over my worship. And all of a sudden, I heard what sounded like, it sounded like a stadium slam-packed full of like hundreds of thousands of people. But way off in the distance, I heard them cheering. I opened my eyes and I saw angels. It was like they were far off, but they were swooping down. And somehow I saw them through my ceiling, through my room. And I looked up at the same time when I saw them. I saw a light. It wasn't very big. It's about that big around on my ceiling. And the light was not on. It was dark in this room. And I saw a light. And at this point, I was tripping. I was freaking out. Okay, I was freaking out. The fear of the Lord came over me. I was scared. But also, when I looked at that light, I know who it was. When I looked at the light, I had an immense peace wash over me. And instead of backing away and getting freaked out and scared, I pressed in closer and I just kept praising Him. I kept worshiping Him, and I began to hear the angels. I could begin to hear the angels cheer, like, "Wow, yeah!" That's what they sounded like. They were like, "Wow, yeah!" And then every once in a while, I'd see one swoop down, and just like they were going crazy cheering. And it was like, without speaking to me audibly, into my spirit, God, the angels, was letting me know the reason that they're praising, the reason that they're giving glory to the situation, because I had truly returned back to the Father. And I was literally singing the Father's heart back to Him. And in that moment, the Lord let me feel some of what He was feeling. And it was the most powerful thing in the world. And I realized that light I saw was God on the throne, but very far away. Like, very far away, but right there at the same time. It's so hard to describe, but I'm going to do my best. Then I noticed to my side, when I looked at the light, this is crazy too, this is a crazy thing. When I looked at the light, I would see the angels sitting beside me. I'm talking about massive. These wasn't no little bitty, they were like big angels sitting beside my bed. But when I went to look away from the light, look away from the throne of God, and I look at the angels, I couldn't see them. But the minute I put my eyes back on Jesus, back on the light, they would be right there. They would be right there beside me. It was crazy. Then all of a sudden, in the middle of all this, I felt something sit on my bed. Okay? Something came down. It was like Jesus came down and sat on my bed. And I know y'all think I'm crazy, but this really happened. I will tell this story all the way to the end because I know this is true. Something sat on my bed, and when I felt it before I felt it, and I looked down at my feet. It was sitting between my feet, and I looked down on my feet, and it was so powerful and so big that my bed buckled. I had one of them old spring mattresses. You could hear it going coo, 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 like that. It was like, you know how you sit down on a mattress and if you're heavy, it's like, coo, coo, coo. It was like that. And I looked down and I couldn't see anything there, but I could see the indentation in the bed. And it scared me because I couldn't see. It was like a silhouette. It was like a silhouette of a person sitting on my bed. And I backed up like this, up against the wall, because my bed was against the wall. I was backing up like this, and I was like, Jesus. And all of a sudden, I looked at the light, and I felt this immense peace just wash over me. And the Lord touched me. He touched my leg. My ankle's at. All the way from my ankle, y'all. This cold surge fire. That's the only way I describe it. It was like a cold surge fire. As soon as he touched my leg, a cold surge, fiery feeling went from my ankle all the way up my leg, all the way up my stomach, all the way and came up my body and came out the top of my head. And every bit of pain you could think of, every bit of heartache, pain, everything just went away. It was like, it was nothing but Jesus. It was I'm trying to describe it to you. I felt crazy. Like, I felt so, the best I've ever felt in my entire life. And I looked at my arms and my legs, because I was like, it was a weird feeling. And I looked at my arms and my legs, and I could see, I was on fire. And I knew it was in the spirit, but I was on fire. It was like I could see flames coming off every part of me. And I just started worshiping and praising him even more. And he was just, it was like he was downloading his heart into my spirit, letting me know how much he loved me, how much he wanted a relationship with me, how much. And he began to reveal his heart to me, but not only about me, but about the lost. And I was just, man, this happened all night. My wife was working night shift. I literally, he was that light. He was in my room all night. And man, I'm telling you, he just began to reveal his heart to me. And I was tripping over it, being on fire. I just felt like I was in love. I was in love with him. He was in love with me. It was powerful. And he began to reveal his heart for the lost. And I got to feel his sorrow and his. You do not understand how much the Lord is in pain over the lost. That's why it's so important for us to preach Jesus and tell people about Jesus. The burden of his heart, when he shared that with me, it was so heavy. I felt like I could not bear. I began to bawl. My face became contorted. I began to bawl and cry out for the lost souls. Y'all don't know how much it hurts God that people don't come to him. And it's so important because we are his hands and feet to reach out and love and tell people about him. But the reason I tell you all this is, for one, yes, we need to reach out and we need to tell people about Jesus. If we call yourself a follower of Christ and you know the truth about Jesus Christ and you have a relationship with him, you should be in some way telling people about him. And we live in a day, it's so easy with videos now. But I tell you this to tell you that there is a deeper level of relationship with God. I believe that he can reveal himself like that more than we realize. But we cut ourselves short because we do it based on experience instead of going deep as we can.